Hi everyone, Mark Merrill with Firm. Freedom to lie, cheat, or DEI? When is free speech and everything else under the First Amendment not free? When the leftist radical politicos and ticked off mainstream media behave like 2-year-olds having a hissy fit, I would say. Moms and dads, you remember those growing pains from normal youngsters? It's called puberty. Trouble is, folks, the politicos and media are taking the Trump re-election news in various different ways to express their hate, as usual, towards the American people's support of the change is for the better instead of worse than the past 4+ years. But should we, sane, civil, law-abiding citizens, care? Nope. Not on your life. Time to get back to and take back, folks, our republic. As Mr. Trump has recently shown in building his White House cabinet and securing everything from the U.S. borders to demolishing the deep state trashing of ridiculous red tape entanglements at home and trying to start 2 or 3 wars around the world at the same time. Enough is enough. Now, that's our initial view, folks, from Firm. Now, here's something, folks. We're going to start off with a couple of audio excerpts from a couple of people who have been interviewed, and they are part of the transition team, part of President Trump's new administration. But this is how to get a grip of our country's original foundations in stability and leadership by example instead of posting emoticons on social media. Here's a brief portion first, folks, of FCC Commissioner Brendon Carr's interview with Charlie Kirk earlier during the week of November 18th to the 22nd.
Yeah, so the FCC is a 5-member commissioner. So right now there's 3 Democrats, 2 Republicans. I'm the senior Republican, and the FCC oversees everything from the wireless industry to the broadcast media industry. We are tasked with ending the digital divide, extending broadband to rural America, efforts of which have stalled drastically under the Biden-Harris administration. We're charged with a national security docket. We've taken action on things like Huawei and ZTE at the hardware level. And for me, first steps as President Trump has designated me as chair is get with his team and make sure that there's 100% understanding what his agenda is. After all, he's the one that's been elected at the end of the day. And for starters, for me, it's a couple things. One, it's going to be tech censorship. We absolutely have to smash the censorship cartel. There's going to be a role for the FCC there for sure. We're going to need other agencies and Congress's help as well. The second piece is taking a look at the broadcast media industry. Broadcasters are specially situated. They're not like any other speaker that's out there. They have a license from the federal government, and with that free license comes some benefits and some burdens. And one thing they have to do is operate in the public interest, not a narrow agenda, the public interest. And we're going to hold them to that, and we're going to reinvigorate it. And the third piece is unleashing economic opportunity. When President Trump came in 2017, we were behind on 5G, we were behind on rural broadband, and he turned things around. We know how to do it. We're going to do it again. We're going to unleash private sector builds. We're going to get the space economy going. Whether it's Elon Musk's Starlink or other providers, they've been completely hamstrung by the government the last 4 years. They've succeeded nonetheless, but we're going to let the private sector cook, and it's going to be really good for the economy and for jobs.
Brendon Carr, folks, FCC Commissioner appointed, if you will, to be the commissioner and leader of the 5-member panel of the FCC Board of Directors. Praise God for that. Next, we have a portion of an Epoch Times audio report, folks, on Mr. Trump's selection of Howard Lutnick. We'll let him explain and tell you how he is going to take care of the economic part of our country and get it back to stability. With a little bit of help from something you've probably already heard called tariffs, and how Mr. Trump plans to take care of this guy, among others out there who really hate us. This is a portion from the Epoch Times with a little bit of an introduction, folks. Secondly, President-elect Donald Trump has chosen billionaire Howard Lutnick for the role of Commerce Secretary, in which he will oversee the U.S. Trade Representative's office. If confirmed, Mr. Lutnick, the CEO of financial services firm Cantor Fitzgerald and co-chair of Trump's transition team, would hold a position that has increasingly become a crucial policy role. Here's more from Epoch Times.
From China to tariffs, what Howard Lutnick would oversee as Commerce Secretary. President-elect Donald Trump selected billionaire Howard Lutnick for the role of Commerce Secretary, in which he will oversee the U.S. Trade Representative's office. If confirmed, Lutnick, CEO of financial services firm Cantor Fitzgerald and co-chair of Trump's transition team, would hold a position that has increasingly become a crucial policy role. Gina Raimondo, the current head of the Department of Commerce, has employed President Joe Biden's economic agenda of reviving U.S. industry. Through her oversight of the U.S. CHIPS and Science Act, Raimondo has extended billions in funding to domestic and foreign companies to enhance U.S. manufacturing. Wilbur Ross, who served as Commerce Secretary in Trump's first term, enacted the president's trade policies, from engaging in high-stakes negotiations with China to working on trade relations with the post-Brexit UK. Lutnick will be given a vast portfolio of 47,000 employees and various sub-agencies and bureaus that manage intellectual property rights regulations, export controls on sensitive technologies, and weather forecasting. Some of these entities include the Bureau of Economic Analysis, the Census Bureau, and the Patent and Trademark Office. If confirmed by the Senate in January, the chairman and CEO of investment titans Cantor Fitzgerald and BGC Partners will be tasked with instituting Trump's vision of returning jobs to the United States and championing cryptocurrency adoption. Potentially, the first policy pit stop for Lutnick could be tariffs. Tariffs. The president-elect proposed imposing a universal 10 to 20% tariff on all goods entering the United States and a 60 to 100% levy on Chinese imports. American trading partners will brace for the Lutnick nomination process and his position on trade. If Trump's first term is an indicator, Lutnick will have access to trade weapons. In 2018, for example, Trump tapped the department's authority over the Section 232 National Security Trade Statute to impose a 10% tariff on imported aluminum and a 25% levy on imported steel. 2 years later, he bolstered these tariffs to cover specific derivative products. On the campaign trail, Lutnick has been a significant proponent of this trade policy.
And there you have it, folks. A brief breakdown from the FCC on how we're going to stop, or I should say President Trump, future President Trump, pre-elected President Trump for a second term, is going to handle the problems there with getting everything out of the hands of Big Pharma, giving the American people, the American citizens overall, a break. Medicare, Medicaid, those on fixed incomes. It's about time this nonsense has to stop, folks. We got to stop him primarily. You heard. Major percentage tariffs of imported goods from them. The new Trump administration has been extremely busy selecting and forming a stellar group of federal department leaders, government leaders, and has no plans to stop until every section, every pothole, and every rat hole that's filled in, paved, and replaced to protect, guide, and return our United States, folks, back to you, the people, the American citizens, with the rights, freedoms, and privileges that honor the Bill of Rights and the overall Constitution. Let's get rid of this once and for all. Aren't you tired of DEI, ESG, That garbage at the bottom of the page. Enough with the alphabet soup acronyms. Meantime, folks, as always, stay in touch and check out our podcasts on rumble.com/fairnessmedia1, YouTube, Twitter, and emails all the time at fairnessinreportingmedia@gmail.com, fairnessinreportingmedia@gmail.com. Mark Merrill, as always, for truth, facts, reality, and common sense. Stay safe and peace to everyone.